What's up to all our sidekicks and henchmen out there in the Geek Nation? My name is Noel, and today, in lieu of normal Thunder Rounds, we're going to do a normal Thunder Round. But it's not going to be on an issue that is released this week, because due to the COVID-19 pandemic, all publishers are halting and slowing down production and release of digital as well as new print issues because they're not being able to get to stores, and they're just across the board kind of leveling the playing field, it seems, so small shops can recover, which actually I think is a good thing. If I have to wait an extra 2 to 3 months for a new single issue to ensure that the shop is there when I get back, when everybody comes back to life, then I'll take that bullet. So in that in that vein, this week, for spoiler alert, we're going to talk about all TKO Studios books, and today I'm going to highlight a TKO Studio book. So those of you that aren't aware of TKO Studios, they have a very interesting sales model, and they're pretty cool. So what they do is they attempt to cater to every style of reader. The comic book industry, or the comic book audience, is splintered into many people. Those that get their issues every single week, those that wait for the trade, and those that just prefer to read digitally exclusive. And TKO Studios wanted to relate to that. So what they do is they have 8 different series. They all released in waves that are just dropped in whole, kind of like a Netflix show, like a binge model. And you could purchase it directly from their site in whatever format you like, whether it's issues, a trade, or digitally. I've purchased a couple in the past. They're really fun books. And like I said, this week we're going to highlight all of them to show you kind of the difference of the things that you could get from them. I have a couple here. So the size of the trades are a little bit different. They're a little bit bigger. They're not as big as oversized hardcovers, but they're still slightly bigger than the normal trade paperback. To show you comparison, I've got Garth Ennis and Steve Epting's Sarah here. This is a TKO Studios book about Russian snipers. And here is God Country for comparison. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit taller, it's a little bit wider, but still isn't a sore on the shelf or needs its own special space for it. It's pretty great. The single issues, which I thought was really cool, come in a collector box. So they can sit on your shelf, and inside are all the issues in this cool little box. And they literally are in the same size, 6 issues, 6 chapters for this series. The cardstock is thick. It's nice to hand feel. It's not glossy, but it's also not matte. It's these are just really well produced books. I don't know how to describe it. They're actually pretty nice. So today, I figured since we're gonna do the whole show on all 8 of these TKO books, and I have some in hand, I figured today I would do a Thunder Round on the first chapter of The Fearsome Dr. Fang, written by Zhe Chun and Mike Weiss, with art by Dan McQuaid. I will read the synopsis, but I'm gonna omit spoilers. If you're interested in this book, the synopsis that's available online is literally a spoiler, just based off the first issue. So avoid it, just surface level. When an occult artifact is stolen by dashing criminal mastermind, the fearsome Dr. Fang, San Francisco cop Nayland Kelly and treasure hunter Alice LaCroix travel to China to recover the item and bring Fang to justice. And there. I'm gonna try and do a Thunder Round of this book, and then we'll go from there. But before I do, I wanted to mention, this is, I just got a message from JD. I'm gonna power through. Before I do, this is a something of note for TKO Studios, which I thought was incredibly great for them to do in this time of uneasy or unrest or unknown in the comic industry, especially at the sell level. They are, if you purchase directly from their website, there is an option, a drop-down option and a fill-in option to put in or select your local comic shop, your preferred small business retailer. And if you do, they will take 50% of the sales of what you're about to buy and give it directly to that shop, which is the same discount that they would get if they were wholesale buying it for you to hand off to you, which is a wonderful, great thing for a publisher to do while shops are temporarily closed down. So if you like any of these books that we're going to talk about today, or that we talk about in this week's spoiler alert, I wholly implore you to go to tkostudios.com, check out some stuff, and make a purchase and plop in your local retailer in there. So without further ado, I'm going to get the timer here, because I don't have a fancy timer like JD does. You're just going to have to deal with it. And we are going to talk about issue 1 of the Fearsome, Dr. Fang now. So, what makes this book really special is, I think it's in the description, the less you know, the better. It is a very swashbuckling, pulp action kind of thing set in the 1930s San Francisco, trolley cars, big action. If you're fans of the movies like The Rocketeer and Indiana Jones, this is something that might appeal to you. The art is spectacular. I am not familiar with Dan McQuaid, but I'm gonna be familiar with Dan McQuaid. There are some layouts and panels here that are fantastic. The acting is cartoonish and pulpy, yet really effective. The action is kinetic. Some of the page layouts are just wonderful. The story itself is, at this juncture, it's the first issue. It's a little on the nose, but it's intentionally on the nose, because they're working in this pulpy style, and it's just really enjoyable. The more I learn, the more I want to dig in, and I'm really, really hoping the rest of this series kind of lives up to the promise of this first issue. Oh, that was pretty perfect. Yeah, 1 minute. I know it's not as exciting when you don't have that buzzer, but come on, give me a break. I can't get I'll get a big clock behind me that just yells. So like I had mentioned before, we are going to talk about all of these, we're going to talk about all of these TKO Studios books this week on Spoiler Alert. And we're really excited to talk about some new stuff with you guys. I know that it's very weird, again, with no new issues or singles coming out and shops being unavailable to really do anything. But if you can support a local comic shop any way that you can, contact them, start a pull list, buy a gift card for when they do open up, and you could start using it then. Really anything to let them keep the lights on, because when this is all over, we still want those shops and those communities to still be standing. So support places like TKO Studios. But regardless, we are going to talk about all these books this weekend on the next Spoiler Alert. If you want to go to cultpopgo.com to listen to episodes new and old, like and subscribe on this channel, follow us on social media at CultPOP Podcasts, and if you want to at me directly, you can at Mr. Bartocci, Bartocci, MrBartocci, whatever. Or comment down below. We got some comments from the last one, and I will do my best to not respond poorly. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for indulging us, and we love you. Bye.